Shetty. How's it going? Welcome back to Trash Man MMA, man. And today we are bringing you a late night special, man, at the ripe time of 10 o'clock. Welcome back to Trash Man MMA, man. And today we're going over the fight night of Dolidze versus Hernandez, man. I'm not excited to go over this at all. I was gonna fucking completely lie to your face. I'm not excited to break down this card at all. Usually, or this entire year, I've had a good streak. I haven't gone negative once this entire year, besides one card, the fucking Barber versus um, what's that bitch? Barber versus ah, I can't remember her name, but the one where Macy Barber pulled out, and I was gonna go 5-5 on that card, but I ended up going 4-5. Uh, so that was a tragedy. But I feel like this is the only other card of the year where I'll have the possibility of going negative. But man, just get straight into this card, man. It's pretty ass. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, to be honest. But I just want to be consistent. Cody Brundage versus Eric Mokonik. Now, I believe Cody Brundage is a decent favorite for this card, for this fight. I'm not too sure why Eric Mokonik got brought in on short notice, I believe, to fight Nursultan Ruziboyev. I want to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that he came in on short notice to fight that guy, to fight Nursultan Ruziboyev. And then he got knocked out. I want to say in the first round or the third round. I can't really remember. He got finished in the second round. So yeah, he took that fight on short notice. He was supposed to have a fight on February 14th. Got rebooked 8 days later on that card, and now he's coming up against Brundage. And Brundage isn't the worst fighter of all time. I definitely think this is a winnable matchup for him. I don't think this is necessarily favoring either guy, but I will say Cody Brundage did look very good against Mansour Abdul Malik. I think that, yeah, Mansour Abdul Malik. He was looking actually very good against him. In the first round, he was kind of putting belt to ass. He was kind of, whooping on the boy. Not whooping on the boy, but he clearly won one of the rounds. I believe it was the first. And just with that simple knowledge, if he's able to outstrike a pretty clean Mansour Abdul Malik, who's, I mean, doesn't really do anything all that special. I don't think Mansour's all that good in the first place. But he's able to hold his own against visually sound looking guys like Mansour. So he might be able to get this one against Eric Monaco. I will assume him to get it done. He can go a little retard mode and get a nice little KO. So I'm gonna go Cody Brundage by second round KO. On to the next fight, Gabriela Fernandez versus Julia Stolarenko. Now I want to make sure I get this right, but I'm pretty sure Julia Stolarenko is 2-6 in the UFC. Yeah, she's 2-6. One of her only wins being Molly McCann. I think Gabriela Fernandez she does have a decent understanding of jiu-jitsu, and I think if you're any competent women's fighter and have an understanding of jiu-jitsu, then you beat Julia Stolarenko. She has an armbar, and if you know how to defend an armbar, then she is fucking trash. Look at her record. It doesn't really need to be said. If you simply know what an armbar is, you will beat Julia Stolarenko. Motherfuckers like Molly McCann don't, so they don't. I'm going with Gabrielle Fernandez. She's pretty good in her own right. She's the girl that rear naked choked Wayne Kong in the second round, I believe, as well as dropping Wayne Kong. So if she could drop Wayne Kong and submit her, I'm going to assume she could drop Julia Stolarenko and, maybe potentially submit her. On to the next fight. I'm going Gabriel Fernandez by second round KO. On to the next fight. Uros Medic versus Gilbert Urbina. Wow, they really do have him listed as 5'9". That's crazy. On Tapology, I seen that he was listed at 5'5", at fucking 6'3". No, 6'7". I'm going Uros Medic on this one. This one is, I don't know, man. It's just Gilbert Urbina. He's 1-2 in the UFC. We don't really know who he is all that much. Granted, his losses aren't that bad. I mean, he lost to Charles Radke, Brian Battle. Not the worst losses of all time, if we're really being honest. Like, I kind of rate those losses. And Earl Smetic, he in his last fight he got starched out cold in the first round by Soriano. I don't know if you guys watched like the some of the craziest 2025 knockouts. A UFC video that the UFC posted not too long ago. I watched it, and Soriano was one of the last ones, or he was the last one, and he got a pretty wicked KO over Medic. And I kind of rate Soriano. He's looking pretty good at welterweight, looking pretty powerful. He had a big chunk of his UFC career at middleweight. He's finally came down. He's looking good. He's looking powerful. Earl Smetic, that loss. Miktek Orabai lost. Jalen Turner lost. Nothing bad, right? But I do think they are a little bit better than Gilbert Urbina's loss. I don't think Brian Battle looked all that good in his last performance at middleweight. Uh, Charles Rag, he just isn't really showing out to be the best. So I'm going to just go Earl Smetic, man. 29-28, potentially getting dropped at some point in this fight due to Gilbert Urbina's reach and height. Um, I'm going Earl Smetic 29-28 after getting dropped in one of those rounds. On to the next fight. Jocelyn Edwards versus Priscilla Capoeira, the zombie girl. She had a pretty vicious KO over Josephine Nunes. Was that a name? Josephine Nunes in her last fight. Uh, Starched out cold. It was on the back foot too. It was fucking wicked. It was a wicked KO, and I actually predicted it. I just don't think Josiana Nunes was ever all that good, so that's why I predicted that fight correct. But I don't know. She isn't half bad herself, although she did lose to Molly McCann back in the day, which I do not rate whatsoever. Um, but even then, she was getting like really pressured by like a Josiane Nunes who is 5'2". I think if a tall Jocelyn Edwards can pressure you like a Josiane Nunes can, I think that'll just be problems for you. I think she has that height that Josiane Nunes doesn't have. She has the reach that Josiane Nunes doesn't have. And she's not just a short, fat fucking Brazilian. Like, she's an actual Leon Edwards of women's MMA. Like, she's pretty good at striking. So I'm going Jocelyn Edwards by 30-27. Just kind of like master classes her, to be honest. On to the next fight. Elijah Smith versus Tosh Toshimi Kazama. I'm gonna go Elijah Smith. I don't know how far his ceiling is. I don't think he's gonna be a top ranked opponent. I didn't really see anything all too crazy in his previous fights. In his fight in the UFC against what it was against Vince Morales, maybe pulling that name on my ass. Vince Morales, I want to say. And then I don't know who he fought on the. Oh, that's right. He fought that one. He fought that one prick. That fucking Kai Car France, that Kiwi motherfucker with the face tat, looked all crazy. That's who he fought, and he kind of just like masterclassed him. He got a little gassed out in the third. I remember that much, and he kind of got like he was breaking a little bit, you know. The dude was kind of coming back, and kind of just aura farming. It was like a if this was a fucking stare menacingly contest, bro. I'm telling you, that fucking Kiwi dude would have took it. Um, but Toshi Omikazama, uh, don't really rate all too much. Lost to Rinya Nakamura, uh, beat Garrett Armfield, or no, he lost to Garrett Armfield. Lost to Garrett Armfield. I can forgive a Rinya Nakamura loss. Don't get me wrong. I can forgive that for sure. But a Garrett Armfield loss, I just can't. I really can't forgive that. I think Elijah Smith is a decently powerful guy. I think he can land some good shots on you, and I think if a Garrett Armfield is putting you out, I think that Elijah Smith can put you out. So I'm going Elijah Smith by second round KO or 29-28. On to the next fight, Julius Walker versus Rafael Sequeira. I'm going Julius Walker on this one. Rafael Sequeira is pretty old for only it being his third UFC fight. He got brutally slept out cold 2 times in the first round by Modestas Bukauskas and that one guy who just literally stared menacingly at his opponent for 15 minutes straight. Ooh, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but you guys know Ibo Aslan. He lost to Ibo Aslan. Uh, Julius Walker took a fight against top 15th light heavyweight Alonzo Menifield on short notice when he wasn't even in the UFC. He had a fight booked for a certain date, and then it was moved back, and then he got signed to the UFC to fight on his original fight date. Um, Julius Walker went through the ringer with that fight, and he got it down to a split decision. Um, I can't remember. I remember picking Julius Walker. I can't remember thinking if he won or not. Uh, but I'm not really gonna have that come into this all too much. What I'm trying to say is Julius Walker went to a split decision on short notice with a ranked opponent. Rafael Sequeira has gotten brutally slumped out cold 2 times in a row in the first round. I'm going Julius fucking Walker. On to the next. Eric Anders versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I'm going Christian Leroy Duncan. I seen a stat that said Eric Anders has gotten dropped in his past 3 fights, and I think Christian Leroy Duncan is a very powerful dude. I think he's a less impressive Gregory Rodriguez. But he went to fucking war with Gregory Rodriguez, man. Don't get me wrong, half that war was just him getting his ass beat and beat the fuck up. But I think he can do that to an Eric Anders who is relatively old, I believe. Actually, I don't think he's that old. I think he's like 31. I don't think he's that old. Let me. He's 38. I'm fucking tripping. Somebody on this card is a lot younger than I thought. I don't know who it is though. Um, how my neck is absolutely cooked right now. Um, I'm on a weird angle on my bed. But yeah, I'm going Christian Leroy Duncan. He's sound enough. He's technically sound enough. He's good enough, in my opinion. Eric Anders is just old. He's 38. And look, man, you lose to fucking Gregory Rodriguez, but you don't get knocked out. Bro, look, no shame there, dude. Sometimes you just get pushed too fast, man. Victim of his own success, to be honest. On to the next fight, though. Hold on. I'm going Christian Leroy Duncan by second round TKO. Actually, I'm going first round KO. On to the next fight. Miles Johnson versus Gene Matsumoto. I'm not gonna stay too long on this fight because clearly the UFC doesn't want me to break this fight down. Actually, I have it. Hold on. I have Tapology loaded up right here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Here we go. Yeah. Miles Johnson versus Gene Matsumoto. It was Miles Johnson uh, who I thought was old but was actually young. Um, I got him confused with Eric Anders. Can you blame me, bro? They look fucking exactly the same. Uh, Gene Matsumoto had a very close split decision with Rob Font, my goat, in his last fight. And Miles Johnson, honestly, he hasn't had bad performances in the UFC. Excuse me. He is 6-3 in the UFC, which doesn't look the best. But when you realize, oh, okay, Felipe Lima, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? Mario Batista, not bad. And those are two of his losses right there are already like, holy shit. I think Felipe Lima is pretty fucking good. Even though he kind of just, actually, is it? Because he just shit the bed against Peyton Talbot in his last fight. Is he really all that impressive? He really just shit the bed in his last fight. I completely forgot he did that. That kind of changes my mind about this pick a little bit. I thought it was closer than it would, and than what the odds suggested. But yeah, I'm leaning Gene Matsumoto. If you can take a fight on short notice against top 10 bantamweight, like staple of the bantamweight, fucking Rob Font. Rob Font has been a staple of the UFC's top 10 bantamweight division for a very long time. If you could take that guy to a split decision on short notice, I think you can handily take care of a Miles John who got outperformed by a nothing burger of a Felipe Lima. So I'm going Gene Matsumoto 29-28 or hard 30-27. On to the next fight. Let's hopefully, yeah, it's fixed. Andre Philly versus Christian Rodriguez. I got so scared right now. My heart just dropped. I thought I thought it wasn't recording. Andre Philly versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Christian Leroy Duncan. I'm sorry, bro. It's 9:40. I'm about to pass out. Andre Philly versus Christian Rodriguez, dude. This one's really hard, man. Andre Philly, he is losing, but he's not losing to the worst competition of all time. He's losing to, I don't even think did I wanted to I was gonna say he lost to Cub Swanson, but that was a split decision. But he's as of recently though, he's losing to fucking Malik Acosta by literally sticking his head into a fucking guillotine. Lost to Dan Ige, got knocked out in round one. Took Nathaniel Wood to unanimous decision loss, but Nathaniel Wood isn't looking too bad. He has a win over uh, uh, Morgan Charrier, and Joshua Van's coach Daniel Pineda. So that's a pretty good win, man. That's a pretty good win for Nathaniel Wood to have, and for Andre Philly to have that same level of skill to do that, not get finished by Nathaniel Wood is what I'm referring to. I think he's pretty good, man. He's getting finished by, Joe Anderson Brito, which is okay. But Christian Rodriguez, man, he's just so odd. But he is only 27. Andre Philly, he's pretty old, I want to say. I don't think he's 31 or anything. Whereas Gregory Rodriguez, he's kind of just young and dumb, making dumb mistakes, doing dumb things, and I just don't know if I could really trust him to get it done over an Andre Philly. Granted, he fought Malik Acosta himself, and he didn't get finished, but he also got finished against Julian Erosa. And Andre Philly, I don't know if he gets finished by Julian Erosa. You know what I'm saying? Like, does he? I don't know if he does. Have they fought? I don't think so. But I don't know, guys. This one's really hard. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I gotta text the hus, guys. My bad, my bad. Uh, Holy shit. That is wow. Um, I think this is really hard because, like I've been saying, Christian Rodriguez, dumb and young. Andre Philly, experienced but kind of dumb himself. Fuck. I really want to go Andre Philly on this one, but my brain is telling me Christian Rodriguez. But okay, Christian Rodriguez doesn't get finished by Malik Acosta. That's what I'm basing this fight off, dude. Both of their last fight was Malik Acosta. Damn, the activity on fucking Malik Acosta, man, kind of crazy. Both of their last fights were against Melky Costa. One got finished, one didn't. I gotta go Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez 30 29 27. On to the third fight, or the featured fight of the night. Yasmin Lucindu versus Angela Hill. I'm gonna keep this one brief because I felt like I got hung up on the last one too quick. Angela Hill beat a girl that looks identical to Yasmin Lucindu in her last fight. I think her name was Ketlin Souza. Wait, I'm getting this one confused with yet another lesbian. Holy shit, they are multiplying at a rapid rate. Oh, Denise Gomez was the one I was thinking about. Look, bro, she's just fought and beat this archetype of fighter. She's beat Ketlin Souza. She's beat Denise Gomez. Yasmin Lucindu looks exactly the same. Like, why would I not pick Angela Hill to beat Yasmin Lucindu? I'm picking Angela Hill to beat Yasmin Lucindu. I think she's pretty good for her age. She's longer. I think she's taller by in reach. Going Angela Hill, 30-27. On to the next fight. Steve Erceg versus Ode Osborne. This fight is being held at 130. Not 135, not 125, but 130. Catch weight, requested by Ode Osborne's side, I'm assuming. He's taking this fight on short notice for Steve Erceg. So Steve Erceg had actually fought on this fucking card. It seems like he's doomed to not fight on this card. I'm actually still not convinced that this fight's gonna happen because this is like his third opponent, I believe. He was originally scheduled to fight Alex Perez. Alex Perez got he's getting fuck. Hold on, I completely lost my train of thought. He got booked to fight Alex Perez, and then he got booked to fight Hyung Sung Park, who then got booked to fight Tatoro Taira last week, and now he's getting Ode Osborne. Ode Osborne filling in on short notice. I'm picking Steve Erceg. Ode Osborne does have some good wins himself. Honestly, he does have some sleeper wins. But he's just been losing too much recently. But in his last fight, he did get a very impressive second round a knockout over some undefeated guy. Honestly, I just remember it was like kind of set up to be like, damn, like, hey, Ode Osborne's probably gonna get cooked again, one of those. But he actually got it done himself. He has a split win over Charles Johnson, which in my opinion is pretty damn good. Uh, but like I said, he just loses too much, man. If you're getting beaten by Ronaldo Rodriguez, like, I don't want to hear it, bro. Granted, he did almost finish Ronaldo Rodriguez. He dropped him in the first round, almost finished him in the first round. I was getting so fucking ecstatic over that. But I think Steve Erceg kind of handedly beats Ronaldo Rodriguez without any robbery, split decision stuff coming into play. I'm trusting Steve Erceg to get this one done. Steve Erceg is one of the best strikers in the division, in the sport, really. He went toe to toe with Alejandro Pantoja, and then again he went toe to toe with Brandon Moreno. Yeah, he got fluked against Kai Kara France, but honestly, I don't really like to remember that fight all too much. But he had a very close fight with Brandon Moreno. That was one of those 50-45s that you see, and it's like, wow, that's a 50-45. That's like wicked. Like, how can a fight be so close but yet on points be so far? Steve Erceg is just the league's better striker than Ode Osborne. I'm going Steve Erceg, 30-27. I don't think Steve Erceg is really all that powerful. On to the last fight, though. Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was leaning Roman Dolidze for a very long time. For a very long time, I was leaning towards Roman Dolidze. But then I just started thinking, man, I'm going to take you guys to my thought process. I'm not going to try and make it seem like I'm fucking Mr. Magician over here, right? Or not that I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try and make myself seem like the all-seeing eye, but watched Anthony Hernandez versus Brendan Allen. It was so completely bored out of my mind, and I was like, Roman Dolidze is not gonna get controlled like this. He's pretty good off the bottom. He got taken down and controlled by fucking Jack Hermanson back in the day. But Roman Dolidze doesn't really grapple. Dead ass. Like, I thought he does, bro. If you look at his like last 7 fights, he's gotten like 3 takedowns. You know what I'm saying? His grappling is really just like up against the fence, and maybe he'll wrestle you to the ground. But if he does, it won't even be for that long. Anthony Hernandez gets you down and he beats you up there. His striking and stand up never looks all that good, because at the end of the day, I don't think Anthony Hernandez is all that good. I think he is just like a fat Mexican who, instead of striking, just has a good chin like them all, but he can actually grapple and not just strike and throw hands, because he's very bad at that as well, which is kind of surprising. But I seen Roman Dolidze almost get finished by Marvin Vettori. I really saw that happen just like 30 minutes ago. I seen him nearly get finished in the second round by Marvin Vettori. And I seen Brendan Allen, Anthony Hernandez's last opponent, put belt to ass on Marvin Vettori and almost finish him in the first round. I get it, that was Marvin Vettori and probably at a different mental state, but still, I seen Anthony Hernandez's last opponent, who he kind of ragdolled. I seen Brendan Allen then go on and put belt to ass on Marvin Vettori, who you nearly lost to in the second round. Don't get me wrong, Anthony Hernandez and Brendan Allen had a little scrap. They had their little scrambles back and forth. Anthony Hernandez got put into some spicy positions. He almost got caught in a rear naked choke. But Roman Dolidze almost got finished by Marvin fucking Vettori, dude. He was on chicken wobbly legs, and I get it. He landed some few good shots that hurt Marvin Vettori, but Brendan Allen almost finished Marvin Vettori, bro, with ground and pound. Like, this is just different. Like, I don't think Anthony Hernandez is all that good, and I don't think Roman Dolidze is all that good. I don't think Anthony Hernandez is ever going to break top 5, if I'm being honest. I know some people say he's the uncrowned champ. He's the dark horse of the division. I'm putting a halt to that narrative right now. This guy's very bad. He's not that good. He nearly lost to fucking Michel Pereira in the first round. and he got put into some pretty spicy positions against Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen had him, hurt a little bit. Took his back on nearly right away. Almost had a rear naked choke later in the round. Uh, Obviously, these are just little points in the fights, but these are all just here to say I don't think Anthony Hernandez was all that good. But with all that being said, I am going Anthony Hernandez 49-46. I think it'll be a pretty clear, damn, Roman Dolidze, yeah, he wasn't that good. And a nice little layup for Anthony Hernandez. So that's my card, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Follow my Instagram and my Twitter. I have them both linked in my channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in my post-fight recap Sunday. So see y'all later.